Very interesting tier list, to say the least. Yeah, and I want to really quick glance over the article because I want you to know how they decided this. It says, welcome to the third iteration of Lumirank's annual tier list. The most recent tier list reflects the dramatic shifts in Ultimate's metagame throughout 2024 as determined by our 93 globally ranked panelists. Make sure to read the methodology analysis and full list of panelists after the list. So 150 players voted on this, and they took out some of them that may have caused some noise, and they also accounted for the region's representation of these characters, which is something I didn't really expect, but I guess in hindsight it makes sense. But definitely a very peculiar list for a lot of reasons. You got Mac and Dorf by themselves in the bottom tier, which to me makes sense. I mean, they've been the two worst in some order since the game came out. And again, the reason they're mainly here above all else is, and I'll always say this, it's because of the recoveries over everything. Both characters can kill you with a really hard shot, but the recoveries in the current meta just is a death sentence. In D tier, Dr. Mario, Simon Belmont, DDD, K. Rool, the heavies. Some of the usual suspects. Villager, officially lower than Isabel. Villager is officially lower than Isabel. I don't know if that was the case last time. I don't think it was. Plant down here makes sense. Zelda down here makes sense. Me, Sword Fighter down here makes sense. Ike is... I feel like every time you see Ike in this, he gets lower and lower. In fact, me, Sword Fighter... me, Sword Fighter is no longer the worst sword fighter in the game. It's Ike, bro. Let that sink in for a second. Damn. We got the C tier right here. And I think the thing to note in the C tier is the fact that, Jesus, my own main, Jigglypuff, at her low... I think it might be her lowest position since, obviously, pre-patch Puff. This means if this is ordered, Puff is bottom 15 now in this game. And then you got Mewtwo, which also makes sense. Bowser Jr. being low, surprising, because you had Zap and Wadara and other players like actually show how good the character is. Isabelle down here, not surprising. Kirby down here, not surprising, although Guile Hugh is and especially Jaja. I've seen a case for Kirby being B tier. I actually think Kirby's a B tier character. Isabelle belongs here. Robin pretty much belongs here. Duck Hunt Dog, I do not think belongs here. I think Duck Hunt at absolute worst is middle of the pack. Next to Duck Hunt, you have Bowser, which is... remember this for a long time, people were saying Bowser was the best heavy in the game. Bowser suddenly joining the mid-low gang, the very, very low people. Next to Ridley, another heavy. Ridley being low tier, low-ish tier, also isn't too surprising. But what the heck is Link doing here? Why is he here? Did it really change that much for Link? I'm trying to see like the justification. And then you also, right above it, have Incineroar. Me, Gunner being this low makes sense. Chrom being low because of recovery, I get it. Wii Fit seems a bit low. Banjo, maybe a little higher than usual. I could see that too. Lucas, yeah, that's fine too. And Lucario, surprisingly higher than I thought. So we go up a tier. We now have the B tier here. There's always characters that I think have high volatility. Marth being one, Ices being another, but I think this is actually a good spot for Ices. They do have this crazy factor to them where they can just completely blow someone up, or the player happens to know the matchup. It's a matchup check for a lot of people, so B tier probably belongs for them. DK here. DK a little bit. No, DK there is fine. I actually agree with DK there. Pichu the same. Europe with Dry B and Natoru. Byleth and B. You can't spell Byleth without B tier. That's fine too. Sephiroth next to Byleth, I actually agree with. I think that's honestly fine. Inkling. The fall off of Inkling continues, but I think Inkling's going to stay right there. I think Inkling's there just from lack of use of the character, but I have seen more people using Inkling in Japan. Mega Man. Dude, Mega Man, bro. Didn't people have Mega Man in like their top 15 at one point? I guess that's how the meta changes when you have this many characters in the game. Next to Mega Man, you've got Sheik and Meta Knight. Meta Knight a little higher than I thought, but I guess it makes sense too. I'm fine with Sheik being here. I'm fine with Mega Man being here. Ness in B minus. I feel like Ness should be higher. I don't know. And then over here you got Young Link. Why is Link in C minus? Young Link B plus. Toon Link is A T. Wait, what? Who in Japan is farming with Toon Link? Level 1. Maybe I haven't kept up, but damn. Rosalina. Wow. Rosa went up super high. Rosa used to be like bottom 20. Ken also kind of low. Why is Ken this low? Captain Falcon B plus is fine. Pit and Dark Pit Pier is fine. I just don't think this should be that high on the B tier. I'll put Dark Pit B minus. We have this big old fat A tier right here. A lot to dissect in this A tier, so I'm gonna just go character by character. Yeah, Lucina. I remember what Lucina started in this meta as basically like one of the best characters in the game. She's changed a bit on where she is, but to me, that's fine. She's there. She just has not as many users as before. You got Toon Link here. Toon Link officially now, according to this list, the best Link in the game. Probably, like we mentioned, carried by the results of level 1. Pokemon Trainer. You guys remember on my last tier, on my tier list, I had Pokemon Trainer 5th in the game. How times change, bro. Again, I'm still happy they're a high tier character because they are. But yeah, a lot fewer players than before. This might be the last tier list we ever see for this game, you know, made by Lumirank. There's a chance to Smash 6 around the corner, so this might be how it ends. My uncle works at Nintendo, February 2026 with 48 characters. I believe it. But then look at this, Pac-Man. Still a high tier character, but dude, I think dead to rights I have Pac-Man still at least as a top 20 character. This right here puts him almost mid tier. He's barely not mid tier according to this. Next to him, Greninja. I think this is accurate for Greninja. I think that's fine. Zero Suit Samus. Again, less and less results for this character, but her strengths are undeniable. Terry, I'd put Terry maybe a little higher on here, but that's fine too. Me Brawler, I feel a certain way. I'm happy like we recognize Me Brawler as a high tier character, but I legitimately think Me Brawler should be up here. I think this character is insane. Shulk, another character that had a pretty big fall off, but still remained in the high tier. Shulk used to be a top tier. And then you got Ryu here. Ryu, obviously, Japan probably was very bullish on Ryu only because of how good Ashimo does. Look at Hero, bro. I thought Hero was supposed to be a mid-tier character based on how much variance just and volatility, of course, his design has, but people have actually figured it out. They figured out how to get zoom more reliably. They figured out how to optimize the RNG in a sense. Wolf, again, you know, I don't think anyone has any gripes about him being in this tier. I'd be fine if he was there too. Falco above Wolf. Wolf is the worst spacey in the game. It's like things that I thought were just objective truths are just no longer truth. Speaking of that, Sora is apparently better than either of them. I'm biased because I freaking hate Sora in every single way fighting him, but his strengths are also undeniable as a character. Wario, again, used to be like a top tier character, but I get him in the high tier there too, especially with Gluto's results not being as good as they used to be. And you got Corrin right next to Wario. Right above them, you have Mario. Also, Mario and Luigi officially in the same tier, and they both are ridiculously good characters. Palu, as she belongs, top of A. Samus and Dark Samus being better than Palu is definitely wild. And then Bayo now being better than either Samus or Palutena or Corrin. Bayo and Cloud, bro. This is the Smash 4 tier, bro. Mario, Bayo, Cloud, just hanging out here. All I was missing is Diddy Kong, but I guess Diddy Kong got put one above him. And then you got Luigi. Luigi with the single biggest boost. What, 21 spots Luigi got? And you know what? I agree. You got Cloud here, who of course rewards you for being brave, but punishes you for being off stage. Olimar, which still has Shuton to Buzz. A lot of reps. Olimar is a menace, and Roy right next to him as well. So that's the A tier right here. And now, of course, we have the gods. You guys ready? Let's go into the S tier, the god tier. Let's see what happens. All right, the first branch of S minus, we're gonna have Diddy Kong. We're gonna have Pikachu S minus. And what's funny is that I think, was it Shiny Mark or Esam, or actually both of them that argued Pikachu was a top 3 character? I'm forgetting what it was, but you have some 64 characters here. Yoshi above Pikachu. And you got Joker also in the S minus tier, which is fair too. Joker went from being like a top 5 character, but obviously Leo's lack of results. Omega been helping a bit too with that too. This doesn't surprise me. I agree with that. Same as Peach and Daisy. Undoubtedly a top tier character, but the difficulty means that you need to put the time into it. Mutis also didn't have quite as good results. Fox right here at the top, and that's mainly thanks to Light. There's Kananabe in Japan, but Light right here is sort of doing the same effect that Sparta does for Cloud, where you have Fox that high just because of how just incredibly good one player does, but I can respect it because it shows the potential of the character. You got Min above all these characters, which I think a lot of people would agree with here. And then you have Diddy Kong. I mean, yeah, bro. Tweak's a god. We can agree on that. But damn, I think Diddy Kong's a bit high here. I gotta say. So yeah, Diddy Kong now basically above almost everyone else. The next tier here is going to be your gods, or your demigods, I guess. We'll call these the legendary tier. These are your gods right here. Other familiar faces, of course, which you might recognize. Yeah, you've got Game & Watch, Rob, Aegis, and Kazuya. Game & Watch and Rob being this high really should not be a surprise to anyone. Aegis being top 5. I've always had this. This is actually my list. 3rd place is Game & Watch, 4th is Rob, 5th is Aegis. Kazuya up here, top 6, sure, there's a case for it. He's a broken, busted character. Absolutely crazy. He's definitely extremely good. Aegis, just the best sortie in the game, undoubtedly, apart from this other guy who has a pickaxe. And then we have the gods, the true 3 best characters, which I think might surprise a lot of people who haven't seen this tier list yet. And the best 3 in the game, number 1 is obviously Steve, but look at this. Number 2, Sonic. Number 3 best character in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is Snake, according to 150 panelists. You can't spell S tier without S characters, right? Steve, Sonic, Snake. Quite literally the S tier. I thought Steve would have been in his own tier. That's what I truly thought. I could see Sonic being right below him. They were all 3 in the same tier. And this is what I'd like to call the Hurt effect. And Hurt, of course, just won Genesis, which kind of reinforces this tier list. And there it is. Chat, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most perfect tier list to your opinions, 1 being absolute sham of a list, where do you rate this list? I put it a 6 for me. Generally has the right idea, but there's just some glaring parts of this. The biggest mistake on this list is actually, to me, Duck Hunt in C- tier. I think this is the biggest. I think this character is going to be up here by next year. What's the worst placement, do you guys think? Hey, shout out to Luminosity for making this list anyway. It takes work to do this. If anything, it just shows the rivaling sentiments that a lot of these things have. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And as always, thank you for watching. This is your ultimate tier list for 2025.